Good day everybody, and welcome to Kampala-Road, and this is what I have been waiting for. Found it. Santa Claus did arrive on time. The Ugandan Customs Authority decided to hang on to it. So we found it at the bottom of the pile, or my wife did I should say, and here it is. And this is quite special for me, and this is why I wanted to save it for my subscriber thank you. And it's not really a review, it's going to be a look-see. Now the reason I say look-see is because I know nothing about this locomotive. I'm no expert, so I think it's probably unfair for me to compare this to the real thing, or say there's a rivet missing here, or the lettering's too low there. But it's the Rails of Sheffield Special Edition, which was my Christmas present. An expensive model, although I benefit from not paying VAT, so that made it more palatable. And hopefully it's going to live up to its reputation as a great model. So I haven't opened it. There was a little sticker on it saying it had been tested by somebody at Rails, which is always grateful for. However, having said that, I have had a couple of others from Rails where they said they tested it, and while they do work, they haven't worked particularly well. It's not a review, as I said, it's a look-see, and quite frankly, the only thing I'm interested in is the bloody thing works properly. Okay, let's get on with it. I believe, I don't know too much about these things, but I believe it was the most powerful steam locomotive ever to run in Britain on regular service. And she was outshopped before the war as a streamlined version, and then the guise she's in now is after the war when they removed the streamlining. I only know that because it's on the back of the box. So there's a bit of bump there about the locomotive, quite interesting. There's one line here about this particular loco, but yeah, it's quite interesting, that bit. This has been the Duchess I've had running on my layout, and those of you who have suffered my videos have seen it. But interestingly, it was one of 5 that were built unstreamlined, and then the Duchess of Hamilton was 5 built streamlined. Again, that's on the back of the box, not me. So once you take it off the Rails of Sheffield cardboard slip, it's the standard Hornby packaging. Iceberg or ice cube packaging, sorry. I've not had this out of the box, this is the first time, so we're going to see together whether she works properly and what she's like. I'm going to put a DCC chip in, and fingers, toes, eyes and everything else crossed she works. I'll be pretty upset if she doesn't, and you'll share that upsetness with me. Standard instructions apply, usual stuff. And there are 2 sets of instructions on how to take the tender body off to get the DCC chip in, just in case you don't understand the first one. There is an identical set. And there is a certificate. 56 of 250, I believe. So here she is, still in her cradle, but let's try and get a bit closer. I might try what everybody else does and put it on a white background so we can get some detail and a bit of better light. So I've moved her out of the box, and as you can see there is an initial problem, and that is she's sitting high at the front and having a fiddle. The chassis is loose from the body, so I'm just going to have a look and see what the problem is. So I hope you can see this. From what I can make out, this plate here is meant to sit down at this level. At the moment I can't quite see if that's bent or why. So off camera I'll just investigate, swear and fix it. Okay, so what the problem is this body, or the chassis, has been off the body at some stage, or in the factory it wasn't put on properly. And here is the lug. The plastic lug here is meant to be sitting on here, underneath. This is meant to go underneath the plastic lug here. So as I said, the body has either been off or it wasn't put on in the factory. Either way, whoever checked this at Rails of Sheffield, as they had put a sticker on saying checked, hadn't done a very good job. Now I quite like Rails of Sheffield, but whoever did it either didn't do it and just put the sticker on, or didn't do a very good job. Okay, so before we've even started, the body's off. Just thought I'd film it so you guys can have a look what's inside one of these rather expensive models. Not sure what motor that is. There's no flywheel on it, which is a bit surprising, I guess. Hopefully it's a 5-pole motor. So while I'm pulling things apart, there's the tender. So I assume that's where a sound chip would go, and this model is screaming out for a sound chip, to be honest with you. Not much room there. I guess if you had that and that, not much room there for a speaker, but I'm no expert. But I would like to get some sound in this. It really is a model that needs it. So I'm going to put a chip in, put the whole thing back together again, and fingers crossed it all works, but we haven't been off to an auspicious start really. Right, so here we are, half an hour later. I've given it time to dry that front lug. I guess if it was in the UK you may think about sending it back. Can't do that here. A little bit disappointed, to be honest. Anyway, let's move on. Semi-streamlined apparently, because it's got that dip in the smoke box. Is that called a smoke box, this thing here? So again, that's off the back of the box. I don't know that, but she looks good. I like it. Let's hope she performs. I'm dreading putting her on the track and turning on the power. But let's have a close look at her. Lots of detail. I assume she's similar to the William Stanier model, which I've been looking at people's reviews and watching videos. I really don't have the correct coaches for her to pull, so when we run it you'll have to excuse that. But I'll do a few close-up shots and let's have a look. My first impressions are a little bit underwhelming. I'm not sure if it's me, but when I opened the P2, I mean, that was an impressive model, despite the fact that it had some shortcomings. This is meant to be an impressive model, and I don't know, it just strikes me as not that impressive. Is it the colour? The wartime black doesn't suit this locomotive? I'm not sure. Will she hold presence on the line? We'll find out in a moment. There's some greasy fingerprints already on it from pulling the thing apart. Bit of a close-up of the front. Maker's plate on there, I assume. Shed plate. Now while we're doing this, I'd like to thank a few of my subscribers who encourage me to keep going, and it's important. Gary from Cheeky Tech, thank you very much mate, love your sense of humour and your exuberant enthusiasm, it's brilliant, so I really appreciate that and your support there. Adi Bullen, I really appreciate that, Adi. Your reviews, you should be doing a review on this loco, the reviews you do. With your historic background, checks you do on these things and the way you present them. So Adi, thanks for that and your encouragement. There are many others, Malcolm Braithwaite, who I've mentioned before, Peter Shaw, Kevin from what was Kevin's Trains, Dave's Trains. Very funny sense of humour you have, Dave, very, very good. Mark Filcher up there in Fife, of course, always full of generous encouragement. Just having a look at the wheels here. I'll get closer so we can have a look at the cab detail in a moment. Okay, there's a bit of a front view. Sorry I can't fill you on the technical details. I have looked on RM Web to see what people are saying. It's the usual stuff on there. Some people like it, some people complaining that there's a letter out of place or something. Doesn't bother me, as long as it works properly, and that's what we're going to find out shortly. My very first subscriber was, and he subscribed 2 months before I put my first video up, was Graham at Lakeside, of course. Everybody knows Graham, and he really encouraged me to start this and start the journey, so thank you very much. I try to, people I follow, comment generally. There's Susanna, was Beringer, now Ringwood South. I follow her and she's delved into DCC and DCC sound in a big way, which I'm finding fascinating. Watching somebody else go through it, so it's great. As I said, this loco is screaming out for a sound chip, and I'm going to be asking Reinhardt, who I follow at, and Reinhardt, I can't pronounce the name of your site, so here it is, apologies. But what I can tell you is, if you are interested in sound, have a look at this channel of Reinhardt's. It is amazing, and not only that, the film quality is amazing. And for this loco, what encouraged me to buy this loco, I watched Reinhardt's video of the Sir William Stanier, and it is brilliant. So I'm going to move on to the track, give her a number, and turn on the power, and then you'll either hear me cry with absolute pleasure or scream with absolute pain. I'm a bit of a pessimist when it comes to these locos. I've had so much bad luck, and I know a few of you others have as well, so fingers crossed. Okay, we're on the track, and there is a little bit of cab detail. It's not as detailed as I thought it would be for a expensive locomotive, but there is some there. And there she is in all her glory. And excuse me while I'm reaching for the controller. Now, this is the moment of truth. I haven't run it. Programmed her at number 9. Let's see if she moves. I bet she's in reverse. Nothing. Press a button there, it might work. Oh, it's in forward. And she's stalled, so she hasn't run. He's a bit jittery. And she's stalled, I think. Let's give it a go. Yeah. Right. Now what? Okay, give it another go. See what happens. Off she goes. Quite smooth too. Sighs of relief all round here, I can tell you. Let's make sure it's not a fluke. And watch her come in reverse. Nice and slowly. She's a bit juddery. I guess that's the motor being a bit sticky. But all in all, a nice loco. I do like it, it's growing on me. Zoom in. very nice loco. And what I'll do now is run her in for an hour, and each way, and see if that improves what I think is probably just a little bit of a sticky motor where she's a little bit juddery and stalling. So let me do that and come back with some running shots. Okay, my woes continue. Just as I started the warming up run, I noticed she was a bit juddery, as I pointed out on the previous, you saw on the previous clip. So I thought, well, it must be the wheels that need cleaning. I got one of these to clean wheels, and I tried to put her on that. The main driving wheels of the loco, and nothing happened. I then put the wheels of the tender on, and she came alive. So I've dragged out my old wheel cleaning system, the old Pico, and just to demonstrate, if I touch that wheel there and that wheel there, things should happen, and they do. Oops, my hand's in the way. Here we go. Yeah. If I do the same with the wheels, on the driving wheels, nothing happens. So I've got a problem. Wire maybe come away from the motor to the pickups, so I've got to pull it apart. And do I do that, or do I just send it back? I guess I pull it apart. Very, very disappointing. So it's next day. I decided to walk away from this yesterday after the disappointment of that demonstration of the wheels, and I thought if I carried on there I'd probably damage something. I really didn't want to touch the bodywork too much because of the fingerprints on black paintwork, which is a problem, but that's gone out the window. So I'm going to find out. Initially, from looking at it, I can't see anything wrong. I've just tried to run it on analog. It doesn't. So there's obviously a power issue to the motor. But I guess you've got to put things in perspective. Yes, it's expensive. It's a toy. And the principle of the matter is it should work at that cost, and the manufacturer should make products fit for purpose, and those who watch my videos will know I've had several locomotives that are not fit for purpose. Having said that, or reflecting on it overnight, the cost of this loco, just to give you some idea, will keep a Ugandan family in the rural area going for about 5 months. So, despite the fact it's not working, life isn't that bad for me. But if you want to take a principled matter of it, Hornby, you need to get your act together to make things work. Mr. Kohler and Co. and the new chairman sorting out your merging and making lots of money out of a merge from Oxford Rail and Hornby. You need to focus on your customer service. Alright, well, I'm going to, off camera, have a look at this and come back to you if I can find something wrong. Okay, hopefully appears to be a fairly simple issue. There was a little bit of black tape here which was covering the 2 wires from the motor and, 2 wires from the motor and 2 wires from the track. It would appear, I started fiddling with these, there's some heat shrink on this, and it would appear that this connection inside this heat shrink is not good. Nothing happened, and when I fiddled with that one, when I started fiddling with this one, the locomotive suddenly took off. And I think I've left the tender off the track because we know she works with the tender on the track. So if I apply a little bit of power, she should work. There. Look at that. Off she goes. So I'm going to have to take this heat shrink off. Hope you can see that. It is this connection here that is the problem. I'll take that off and resolder, I guess, put it back together again, fingers crossed, box of Kleenex and tissues put away, she'll work. That's the plan. So under the heat shrink, that is the connection. That's a small screwdriver, so you can see how small it is. It really does look like the connection was missed and the rubber of the wire has melted joining the two wires, rather than the two ends of the wires being connected by this lump of solder, which is what that was obviously meant for. So that's my problem. In a way, I'm feeling quite fortunate it's that simple. I shall get the soldering iron out. Okay, body on. Repaired the wire, tested that she was picking up from the Loco wheels, which she does. Put the tender back on. Greasy fingerprints all over the new black paintwork, but there you go, I have to clean it. And she works. Let's get that out of the way. So I actually feel a little bit fortunate that it was such a simple problem to fix. I was concerned initially that it might be something to do with the DCC plug wiring, but obviously on the Loco it's very simple wiring because the DCC stuff is in the tender. So she's running a bit there, better than yesterday. So I'm going to run her in for an hour or so now. Still a little maybe dirty track. I haven't cleaned it this morning. Give her the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, I'm sorry, what was meant to be a nice occasion has turned into a bit of a drama. Carrying on with my thank yous to subscribers. Tony Northeastern, mate, I was catching up on a few of your videos this morning after washing the fish tank out and brooding over my problems. I really like your layout and 1950s/60s steam. So keep up the good work, mate, and thank you for supporting me too. It's one of the most enjoyable layouts I watch actually, and you're very good at your how-to videos, so I've learnt a lot, so thanks very much. Dave Howarth again, thank you mate, up there in Yorkshire. Some great hints and tips and a lot of support again, always comments on my videos, so appreciate that. So some good people. Richard Swallow, a fairly new subscriber. I think he's in Perth in Western Australia. Am I right, Richard? I think so. So good to know. Anyway, let me shut up and get this on the track. Okay folks, she's running for about half an hour and she's fine. I was going to do some running shots, pulling a train, but I'm going to leave that for another day. I'm a bit fed up, to be honest with you, with the whole thing, and I'm really sorry that my subscriber special has turned into a bit of a drama. There was a disease or an illness in the Napoleonic times where if you were English and you didn't like French people, and no disrespect to the French, there was a recognised illness, and I think I'm getting that, but it's Hornby that I'm allergic to, not the French. Look, I have to put these in perspective. I've lived in countries around the world where I've seen some terrible things, and this is a toy, and I'm lucky in life. Like, one, I can afford it, and two, I can fix it. But there is a thing in me about the principle of the matter, and this loco joins the ranks of the Gadwall, the A4, my 7200, my King class, as new locos that don't work as they should do out of the box. And I'll be honest with you, if I was in England, I would probably seriously think about taking Hornby to court because they're not fit for purpose. So I'm going to post this video. I'm going to inform Rails of Sheffield and ask them. The managing director's got his name on the certificate, so I can directly appeal to him to watch this video, and I'll do some running shots of her on another video. What I was going to say was that basically, due to some poor soldering in the factory, the fault was not picked up because the tender pickups masked the problem until the loco was asked to run properly. So there's a quality issue, I guess, and quality issue on soldering. But that's it. So sorry if I'm sounding a bit down, but I am a bit fed up with this. Once again, thank you very much for all the subscribers. I'm sorry if I've missed you out. I'm sure I have missed a few of you out, but I'm a little bit not with it at the moment. Ah dear. Anyway, I'll sign off now. She's a nice loco. If it works, it's great, and she's smooth running. She's run for half an hour without a hint of hesitation. I'm going to carry on playing around with her over the weekend, various speeds, see what happens, and then I'll maybe put up a video of her performing with some other of the steam locos that I have. Okay guys, thanks very much for watching. If you staggered this far through, again sorry it's a bit negative, but I appreciate all your support, and if you're watching this because it's a review of a loco that you were thinking of buying or were interested in but not subscribed, press that red button. Alright, from Uganda and Kampala-Road, cheers for now.